Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Michelle, and if you're new here, then just welcome. This video is going to be a quick rundown of my 2024 setup for quarter one. So I wanted to specify. I'm not sure where quarter 2, 3, or 4 is going to take me, but once I decided that I was just going to use this setup for quarter one, it made my decisions so much easier. So I'm just going to try these out, see how it works for me. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, then I can move to something else. All right, so I know that I did another video recently on what I thought my lineup would be, but I wasn't 100% sold on everything. So this one is what I've decided to go into 2024 with. All right, so the first thing is an inbox. I did mention that I was considering this or something similar to it. This is just an A6 Pocket Leuchtturm, and it is completely blank. I did write down a little something in here because I thought I would start it in December, but opted not to do that. But yeah, this is it. It is just a blank notebook. For most people who are familiar with the bullet journal system, you might be familiar with this type of notebook. It's just dot grid. It's got numbered pages. Really, it's just going to be writing down anything that just pops into my noggin, and I will organize it from there. So I really wanted an area to just write down free notes and not be worried about what my planner was going to look like. Was I going to waste a ton of pages in my EDC or what? I don't know. So this is where I'm going to write it down. The cool thing is I can replace these often if I need to and not have to worry about saving them or archiving them or whatever. So yes, this is my on-the-go notebook. I opted not to use a planner. Realistically, I just don't need it. So yes, this is the first thing in my lineup. The second thing is an A6 Common Planner full year setup. In years past, I want to say like maybe the last 8 years, I have been using an A6 English version Hobonichi Techo for a memory keeper. And honestly, it's been working out to some degree, but I did come across some problems over the last year that made me kind of change my mind for this year. And that was that I have a granddaughter now. So my daughter had her baby in November of 2022. And over the course of the last year, I've been documenting things in her life, her milestones, all those really fun baby things. But what I ran into with this is that I only had one page per day. So putting a lot of pictures, especially on major events, was kind of difficult. I could use small pictures, but I really didn't want to do that. I wanted to use at least 2x3 pictures, like wallet size. And I ended up just putting them in various places, sometimes not even on the day that it coincided with. So I think that this is going to be a really good setup for documenting not just things in my life, but in her life. So the weekly setup is really cool. That is one thing that the A6 Hobonichi Techo does not have, is it does not have a weekly section. You can get the little separate booklet for it, but I don't want to do that. So I'm going to write a few lines a day in each individual day, or try to keep up with it as much as I can. And then as for the back section, I can write down whatever I want for whatever day, take up as many days as I want to, and not have any problems. So I'm really looking forward to this setup. And that's pretty much going to be it for the A6. And this is the A6 Common Planner. All right, so the next thing in my lineup is a Hobonichi Weeks. And I love this planner. It is a Hobonichi Weeks Mega, to be specific. And I'm going to be using it as a wellness tracker. I've kind of already gone through most of what I'm going to be using it for in another video. If you would like a more in-depth flip through, not sure if I'm going to do that in the future just because it has such personal information, but I did touch base on it in my previous video for what I thought my 2024 setup was going to look like. But yes, this is going to be my wellness planner, so I'll move that off to the side and move to the next thing. And you guys have probably already seen this setup because I have already moved in for December, but now we're going into January. So this is my personal ring setup, and this is mainly just for collections. I will do a quick flip through in another video. I'm not sure if I'll do that as a reel or as a full-blown video, but this is what I'm just using for most of my collections, things that I'm just going to keep here at the house, passwords, financial notes, personal notes, anything that has to do with social media, my hobbies. I do have a gardening section that I want to start back here. I just don't see the need to opt for more individual planners for some of these things, so I wanted to put them all in one place. So you can expect a flip through of January setup here in a couple days. Okay, and last but not least, this is my everyday carry. So with all of these other planners that I have here, more than likely the only two that I'm going to be taking with me on a daily basis to and from work and other various places, like if I'm traveling, are these two planners. That's it. So I have my inbox and I have my everyday carry. And this is what I initially thought I was going to start the year off with. This is the common planner into horizontal setup in the full year size. So this is what I initially thought that I was going to start the year off with, but kind of changed it around to the TN standard full year. I thought maybe I would use the A5 compact. Didn't use either one of those. Now, the cool thing about this is, like I said, this is going to be what I'm using for Q1. If I decide that I want to use the TN standard or the A5 compact for Q2, 3, or 4, I can do that. And I'm not going to feel bad about it. But starting off for the year, this seemed like a really good size. I really kind of like the setup that I'm going to go with. And I'll give you guys a quick flip. So here's the first couple pages. I just opted to use transparent sticker paper here for the inner covers. I do have a couple of stickers from Redbubble. I bought this one from the Coffee Monsters Co. I thought it was really cute. And this is my mantra for the year: do no harm, but take no shit. And I included a couple pictures. One is a zebra kicking a lion in the face, because I'm not going to take any shit from honestly anybody. This is actually something that happened between Odor and Bautista from the Blue Jays. So this is a Texas Rangers game that happened like a few years ago, and it was just like big news at the time. And this guy just decked him. And honestly, the situation doesn't really tie into what my mantra is, but the image does. So that's why I'm using it. So if you like it, great. If you don't, who cares? It's mine. All right. So the next thing is I have a picture of my granddaughter. I have this picture that I include in all of my setups for every year for the past like 10 years. And this is a picture of my husband and I at a metal show. And I thought that was so cute because we were both wearing the same type of chucks. And anyways, I include it in every setup that I have just because I love that picture. On the next page, it's just a yearly calendar. It's at a glance, and it just has all of my little notes that I have for the year, birthdays, events so far, work, holidays, things like that. On the next couple of pages, I have a background from Starstruck Designs. I really like this skull drawing digital paper, so I included it. Have some pictures of my kids, my granddaughter, my husband, and myself. Okay, on this page is just my vision board for 2024, so you may notice a few things on here. I do have a Calupo, which is a Mexican wolf dog that I really would love to have as a family pet. And my kids are older, like they're adults now, so I'm kind of having like this empty nest type of thing going on. I don't know. I would love to be more creative in my everyday life. I would love to include more books in my daily rotation, put some more upgrades on my Jeep, be closer to nature, be more social, meet more friends that have similar interests, visit Salem, Massachusetts at some point this year. I would love to go during Halloween, but it doesn't have to happen. I know how busy it is. I would love to see the beach this year, so I'm hoping to do that. Planning a trip as we speak. And as far as social media goes, I would love to hit 10K on YouTube. It may not be realistic, but you know what? It's a vision board. It could happen. I haven't set up my quarterly goals yet, as I just moved back into this, but I will be doing that after the filming of this video. I do have some appointments coming up. I have some holidays that I would like to remember, and we're just going to get into the weekly section. I have not set up week 1 yet, but I've mentioned this before, but it is so awesome for us Monday start people that it starts on the 1st. Now, I don't have to work that day, so thankfully that's a thing, but I'm hoping that I'm going to have a quick plan with me on how I want to use this setup, so be on the lookout for that. I did put in my meals for this week. I am currently making birria as we speak, and there's a few things that I want to make, like some Greek chicken bowls, things like that. As far as these weeklies go, I did move in for the past week, but I'll include that back here. So I'm not actually going to go through what that says, but you get the idea. All right, so daily pages are back here. I do have a tab for that. These tabs are from the Coffee Monsters Co. I opted not to use the monthly in this just because I think that's just too much. I don't know. Honestly, it gets kind of snagged on my pen and I hate that. So I did include an index, And this is where my dailies are going to start. So whatever I want to write doesn't have to be just dailies, more like bullet journal type things, like whatever I need to remember for the month, any additional projects, things like that. This right here is just a small section that I've opted to put for small collections that I do want to carry with me on a daily basis, because I am going to be keeping this planner with me. So here I have a reference photo for the Wheel of the Year, and this is from Wise Minerva Studio, as well as moon phases and Mercury and retrograde. So whatever dates we need to document for that. My husband didn't believe me about this kind of thing until he experienced it himself, and let's just say now he wants to know when these days are. So you don't have to believe it, you don't have to care, but these are just some references that I wanted to keep back here, and this is just a very small section that I'm going to use for collections that I'm going to keep with me or references. All right, so this back part is just a small accessories insert. This is one of the Hobonichi Weeks notebooks, and I'm going to be using this for my weekly spending as well as my monthly bills. And the reason I'm keeping it separate is because if I want to carry it into another system later on during the year, I can absolutely take it out and be able to reference the entire year at a glance. All right, that's it. So this is going to be my setup going into 2024 for quarter one. I'm pretty hopeful about it. I'm really looking forward to using this. So I know that because I'm excited about that aspect alone, it will get used. And yeah, so what are you guys using for 2024? Are there some cool things that you're looking forward to? Or is there something that you've already been trying and not really feeling? Or something that you would like to try? I would love to hear about it. Let me know in the comment section down below. If you haven't subscribed and you would like to do so, please hit that subscribe button. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Later.